time got away from me. Hello everybody, are you ready for this live? We're gonna do Christmas tree macarons. It's been a long time since I've gone live. I'm so excited to be here. We are going to be making these guys. So they just have like, you can do a star or this is a snowflake, and then we have some royal icing on the final macaron with some sugar, standing sugar sprinkles. I tried like more, hi Ian, I tried more sprinkles on it and I feel like it's a little gaudy, but sometimes, you know, decorations call for gaudy. I mean, look at my sweater. So it's up to you on how you like to decorate. But hi Susan, we've got different ways to do it. Last year I did a little bit different. I took the royal icing, I made a thicker consistency royal icing so it doesn't spread as much. And then I did different colors of royal icing. So I just did like a green strand of garland with royal icing through the tree, and then different like colors of royal icing for lights that were on the tree or ornaments or something. So there's different things you can do, but the base is making the tree. So we'll do that right now, and I'll show you guys where to separate. I've had some people say they're still having trouble separating their batter into doing multiple batches with different colors, doing one batch with multiple colors. There we go. So we're gonna try that. I'll showcase when to split your batter, add the color, and we'll go from there. All right, I've got my royal icing prepared too. And yeah, so I'm doing a small batch today. Hi David, thank you. I know I'm matching my trees, right? I had to. Ian suggested it. I'm not gonna take the credit for it, but she was like, you need to wear this ugly sweater. It's a beautiful sweater, right? If you're looking for an ugly sweater, I think this brand is Tipsy Elf, and it has an amazing collection of sweaters. No plug, like I have no promotion code for you guys, but they have hilarious sweaters. We'll be doing some True Brown, the Sugar Art Master Elites, and Blue Spruce for the trees, since it's like, you know, a tree color. Even though it says blue in the name, it is a green color. I always was like questioning that because I don't know colors well, okay? So don't laugh at me. I'll be using my hand mixer. I'm doing a 63% of my normal batch, 63% of the 100 gram base recipe. So I have 63 grams of egg whites. I just separated my eggs, and then that's what I go with. So I multiply all my ingredients by the percentage of like the grams of eggs I have. It's an easy way to cut back your recipe without having to scale out the eggs and like save some egg whites for later or whatnot. So if that made sense, I broke open like 2 eggs. I have 63 grams of egg whites, so I multiplied my base recipe by 0.63 each ingredient. So we've got 63 grams of egg whites, 57 grams of sugar. It's a pretty humid day here today, even though it's dry. My house is having a hard time getting the humidity down. So I put in 3 grams of egg whites on the higher end of, so that 4% with the total weight of egg whites. Usually I'll lower you guys so you can see better, but I always suggest 3 to 4% of your total grams of egg whites liquid to use for powder. So we've got 3 grams of egg white powder with my sugar already mixed in, and then 82 grams of powdered sugar and 82 grams of almond flour ready to go, sifted, already whisked as well. I'm gonna try hard not to just shake the entire live, okay? But let me get you guys in a better position because I feel like you cannot see the bowl happenings. So let me get this moved over. Got like my butter dish in the way. Oh my goodness, Nicole. For real now? Here. I was doing a different project and all of a sudden it was live time. I'm super excited, but I'm sorry that I'm a little discombobulated. Nope, you still can't see. What in the world? What do I usually do? Okay, I know. We gotta go back farther. There we go. Okay. So, don't worry, I'm gonna get this real fast and we're gonna move on. And I need to get, that's good, right? You guys can see in the bowl. And I'll showcase again where we split our batter. I also wanted to just reiterate, egg white powder is different from meringue powder. So we've got some meringue powder here, and this is what I made my royal icing with. Okay, let's get into it. While I mix, I will be quiet pretty much because it's hard to hear. So let me know in the live if you have questions while we're mixing or whatnot, and usually I'll get to them too when this is off. All right, here we go. Yeah, so much fun. All right. When it's nice and foamy here, I'm gonna add my sugar. Happens really fast with the hand mixer. Cheap Woods, thank you for welcoming back. Kenna, thank you so much. All right. Susan, are you asking me to try the baking of the royal icing on the tree, or are you asking if it's possible? Because it is possible. You just have to make sure it's not too wet of a royal icing. Like make your royal icing a stiffer consistency. But I want my royal icing to be wet because I want to put sprinkles on it afterwards. So I'm going to wait to bake them. Put the royal icing on after they're baked. But you can bake with royal icing. Yes, croissant people are here. For me, when I'm making smaller batches with my hand mixer, things move a lot quicker. So I would, I could put my powdered color in now if I was doing one color, but we're doing two colors. So I'm gonna keep going until it's stiff. And I'm going to, I can see that my sugar is dissolved. It's not grainy anymore. I'm gonna boost it up to speed 2. Thank you, Laura. I just saw your comment. Oh no, Allison, I'm sorry. Hopefully this will kind of shed light on maybe what went wrong. But we all have those, we all have those days. It's a bummer when things don't go right. Jimya, saw you're on here too. Hi, Jimya. Hi, Stephanie. I miss being here. As you can see, I'm like non-stop dancing. Sorry. It's on speed 2. Is frustrating, wasting time and money, right, on your ingredients. I hate it. Maybe you can make them into brownies. Have you tried that? Pies and Tacos has a good brownie mix with cracked shells. Woods. I love it. That's so cute. Almost there, sorry. Let's check out where we're at. I love Christmas tree mats for sure. I'll have to think about my favorite. See how that's like nice and sticking up? That's what we like. We want it to be nice and thick. See that? How it sticks nice and up. Like it has a tiny little dip at the tip just because it's so thin up there. But other than that, I'm like doing weird positioning. But other than that, it's nice and stiff, right? So we're good to go. And again, I have egg white powder in here, which really helps. It really helps what am I trying to say? Strengthen your meringue because you're adding more protein without any added liquid. So it's gonna help you have more time to mix in those dries. Okay, so again, we're gonna be splitting our batter and doing 2 colors in one. So I'm gonna be super careful at this point not to try to deflate. I'm just sort of patting in my dries. And 2 additions with this size of a batch is probably good. So I'm just going to go around the edge of my bowl and just sort of, it seems like I'm doing nothing, but I just kind of go around and around for a little bit, and then I'll cut through the middle and get that about 70% incorporated, and then I'll add in the second. Like there's still lots of pieces of dry ingredients not incorporated, so it's not like I mix too much, but but I just want to get it started so I don't have clumps still left in my batter by the time I'm getting everything mixed, and then it's like clumpy at the end. Does the sugar art colors add any taste to the shell? Ooh, Heidi, you've noticed that Americolor does? I've felt like Americolor is one of the least likely to flavor your shells with that bitter taste of the coloring. I find Chef Rubber is one of the most potent, like I can taste that the most when I'm adding it in buttercream or something that's not being baked. But for the sugar art, it definitely does. If you use too much coloring, it will taste bitter. You have to be careful. I feel like there's one of them that was more potent than the others. Maybe it was like Sassy Pink, if you do too much of it. But I feel like that's with any coloring, you'll get that taste. I have this like red flake in here. Okay, so like with the black, I actually don't taste any artificial coloring with the black sugar art, which is nice because I use a lot of that, but I think it's because we pair it with the cocoa powder, and that helps. Or you could use activated charcoal. Okay, so I'm really thick, right? I've got all my dries like pushed into this ball. Let me just kind of mix it around a little bit more. I'm not so worried about it being so evenly dispersed and perfect. See how it doesn't lose shape one bit? I know the lighting isn't the best, but it's not losing shape, it's holding tight, and it's really thick. That's where you want to be when you want to split your batter. I know like the perfectionist brain wants to be like, okay, well I need exactly all the ingredients to be evenly dispersed to know that each part of my batter is going to have the same amount of dries, but don't worry about it. Like, think less and it will help. For our template, we're doing trees, and I don't need that much brown. We only need a little stump. So if you are, this is like a combined template that I just have, but if you're part of my newsletter, you have this template sent out, and the gingerbread one that was separate, but it was on 2 different pages for everyone else. So you only need that tiny little rectangle for brown, so we don't need too much brown. If you're doing a lot of other production, you could do half and half even. Hi Macaron Maker of colors. It depends on what you need for your production, but you could always just do some gingerbread macs too with that brown, so you're not only splitting your batter for just like the stump. It seems kind of not worth your time. You might as well just paint the stump at the end, you know, if that's the case. But you could definitely kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I don't like that saying. And use the brown for other things as well. But I'm just going to do a little bit because I'm just doing trees. If I have a little extra, I'll pipe some circles. And then the rest is going to be green for our trees, leaves. I want a smaller spatula for my smaller amount, so I have more control over that. So let's put in our brown, Master Elite True Brown. And I'm just going to do, I wish I had more like small measuring spoon so you could see, but let's just go with, like, I don't know if you can even see that, it's just a tiny little bit. It's probably like an eighth, less than an eighth of a teaspoon. Let's go 1/16. I need to just get those. Oh, thank you, Macaron Maker. Okay. Get all that brown off. And we're gonna put in our blue spruce trees. Trees the weed. Okay, anyways. I'll do about probably a whole eighth of a teaspoon in this one. Looked like a lot, but I held back. I am not an exact kind of person with my colors. I just put them in, but I don't like to do too much, so I always err on smaller. But if you're doing gel colorings with this, I feel like it's almost easier at this point to mix in gels than powders. But I love my powder colors. So, okay, so we got the green and I'm just going to tumble it. I'm still not going to deflate at this point because I want to get those powdered colors in before I start to deflate purposefully. Always clean off that spatula. Look at how pretty that green is. I feel like I'm matching. Anyways, so I'm just gonna tumble, tumble, tumble. Tumble, tumble, tumble. Okay, once I don't see any powders hanging out anymore, I'll actually start to spread the color and deflate the batter at the same time throughout more of it. And you know, I've seen some people like put saran wrap over these or a towel, kitchen towel. I saw on pies and tacos. Like that's a great idea too. If you live in a really dry environment, you might want to protect the batter that's just waiting around. But if you move fairly quickly, I don't find it too necessary to get all that stuff out. I'm gonna keep going. I got some color on the side of the bowl. Hate when that happens. Now, if you want to have a super textured tree at the end, leave it a little bit thicker than usual. If you want it to sort of smooth out, ooh, I need to start my... If you want your trees to smooth out more, then do your normal macaronaging. But just know, like, it won't cause macarons to crack if you just leave a little more air in the batter. It's kind of a myth. If you want it textured, you can have it textured by just macaronaging less, which is like kind of like the rose macarons that I did on a tutorial one of those days. Okay, I'm happy with this flow. Well, of course that didn't. It's a little thicker than my usual. Let me try to. It's hard as a right-handed person to put it towards the camera. Okay. We'll go a little bit more. Let me just do it towards me. There we go. See, constant flow. I'm just challenged trying to show you guys the view from you. See, it doesn't flow off of the spatula from that angle, but it does from my usual. How funny. Okay, so I'm going to put my blue spruce batter into here. And I'm using compostable single-use piping bags today. I usually love to use my Shop the Flower Girl piping bags. But with this, you can either use a tiny tip and use a reusable piping tip, or you can just cut and not use a tip at all, because we're just going to be doing little dots with our design today. But I do suggest probably, well, I don't know Wilton very well, but maybe like a 4mm tip for trees if you're using tips. All right, now our brown. Just going to tumble it first, and then I'll start to really deflate. Now it really is important to have the appropriate size bowls. So like this is way too big, right? But I didn't want to dirty another bowl. But like this could get lost, batter could get over here, you could end up with lopsided macarons. So just be careful with what you macaronage in. If you're doing small amounts, get a smaller bowl. Or the smaller spatula does help. How do I know? So
Letters by Emily. How do you know if you haven't gone too far with your meringue? That's a great question. At some point, when you have gone too far with your meringue, it's gonna start leaching out water. And that's like going way too far. I've been working on a video to showcase when you've gone too far with your meringue. However, I was using egg white powder when I was filming it, and that really helps not have you go too far or even under whipping your meringue. My meringue was like super soft, and I was trying to show for the camera an exaggerated sense of, okay, this is way too under whipped, you're gonna have soft tops and all this stuff. And with the egg white powder, it still produced this beautiful shell. Hard top shell, full. So it really, if you use egg white powder, it's gonna really help you not under whip or over whip. It strengthens that meringue a lot and gives you a lot more flexibility in how far to whip. But Pies and Tacos has an amazing, she did like a little tutorial. I always reference Camilla. She did a tutorial on Instagram, if you have Instagram, and I feel like it just showed so much of like what you want the meringue to be. And I wish I knew what it was titled, but look in her video section. And just had really great information. I usually go a little stiffer of my meringue than she does, but still, it's really good information. Okay. What is the smallest batch you can macaronage? Oh, I mean, I split a batch into 9 different colors yesterday, and I had a tiny amount to macaronage in some. So you can split it pretty small. I've had one person do 1 egg white, so 35 grams, and do that. Just do 1 egg white as a batch. So I think you can, as long as you're safe, you can do a tiny little, like tiny kitchen version of your macarons batches. I got to talking and I forgot what I was doing with my batter. Okay, let's see here. We've got a flowing consistency. Again, it's hard with the smaller batches to kind of tell if it's at the right consistency, but you definitely don't want it to be too runny, right? Sometimes it's easier sometimes to just look in the bowl and see how it falls down. If you can't get it flowing off your spatula, just make sure it kind of levels out when it's sitting and it's not still really clumped like when we separated our batter, right? You want it to even out, so when you pipe it, you know it's going to even out too. So I like how that the surface flattened out, and I'm gonna go with that. But egg white powder really does help elongate the amount of time that you can mix or undermix without messing up your macarons. It's a real nice safeguard. Is it bad for other small batches to wait? I mean, so like I said, I did 9 different things, and it really depends on the environment, I guess I should say. So if you work quick enough and you're able to have your batter out, I think it's good for like 45 minutes. That even was allowing me to mix all of my batches as well as pipe all of the things I was piping. You just want to make sure that they're not exposed to air once they're in a piping bag. Make sure there's no air circulating in, drying them out. Because once they're dried out, like if you pipe them and they dry, right? If you were to have your batter dry and then to pipe it, it's like getting removed, and it's going to be removed. I don't think that's the best word to describe it. But it's going to be breaking down your batter more and more the more you mix it up again after it's dried. So make sure it stays safe in your little container, and you should be fine. Italian meringue is gonna stay longer in those piping bags. Swiss meringue is gonna be better. But I mean, for French, I haven't had an issue with it hanging around for about 45 minutes. Sounds good, Danielle. Have a good day. So here's our colors. And we split our batter. We got both in a good direction. I'm gonna do a little hole for my trees. I'm gonna do a little hole for both. I just wanna make sure you guys can see on. So we'll go like here. And I wanna get my scribe, because this is gonna help get the batter into the corners. So I'm gonna do the stumps first. So it's just a little rectangle. These bags, like I said, they're compostable, but they aren't the most amazing for piping, because they have this like big flap here, and it gets in the way, especially with royal icing design and stuff. But that's okay. So the main thing that I want to say when you're doing different shaped designs is that you don't want to make it too thin. So when you're doing these little designs, you usually have a little tip, or intricate designs, I guess you could say. You'll have a little tip, and that sometimes makes a really thin macaron. So make sure you build up the batter, put enough out there so you're not going to be getting a macaron that's super thin and it's not going to have a nice crunch. That was one of my main qualms with non-circular macarons in the very beginning, when I was like, no, I'm never going to do anything but circular macarons because the bite is so good. I don't want to change that. And once I started playing around with character macs, or non-circular macs, I can't really call this a character mac, but I realized that all you have to do is pipe more batter and it still gives you that nice bite. Just make sure, like these Christmas trees, they even have that pointed tip right at the top, but they still don't get too crunchy. So you just have to be careful. Like, you think this would burn if you get a design that is too sharp, right? So you have to make sure your design isn't too much of a point, and then you still get a really nice bite no matter what you have. Okay, let me move you guys down so you can see the piping better. Okay, and then just like I have on my Instagram, all I do is it's super easy. You just do dots all the way up and they come out really nice. It's easier to pipe without a piping tip. With a circle, Steffi, I usually, let me try this again. With a circle, I have a tip in. This is for my non-circular small stuff. So I'm just gonna get the feel for how big I made how big I snipped my tip. So I wanna make sure it's nice and thick, and I'll go from there. Just getting a feel for the size, and then we'll move forward. So I just did little dots, right? I don't know if you can see very well, and then go right in between the dots and fill up the template. So you're kind of doing like one less dot on each row, if it works out. I'll look at your guys' stuff in a second. So there is my Christmas tree. Like that. Okay, and I'll just keep doing that. Just make sure it's not too thin. I think I have gotten more hollows. I'm going to turn my oven on because I can bake these right away. Can't get this out of there anymore. Okay. Ready? And these are a symmetrical design, so you don't have to worry about doing an inverse to match it. They will match. There we go. I like that thickness better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the base, and then I go in between each one and do one less on each one. Well, this one's gonna be 5 because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and then a nice little 1 on the top. Okay? They're really forgiving. Since you can have them lumpy and such, I just have to move my template down. But if you like notice that there's points that you'd rather have them a little bit more pointed, I like them rounded, but you can definitely move that scribe and do that, like that. But it's really not essential. This is definitely, it would be better to have the full template so you don't have to wait. And you can do all of your tree stumps and then all the branches and stuff all at once. It just makes it faster than going back and forth between your batter. But I only have this printed. So again, someone asked if you could put the royal icing on it at this point, and you could. You can bake with royal icing on, and it speeds things up if you didn't want to. It won't be sticky though, so you wouldn't be able to put the sprinkles on after. You just have to make sure it's not too clunky of a design, or else it'll be too much royal icing on your surface, and you're gonna have cracks from your royal icing. Switching it around. Sorry. Okay. Aren't they cute though? Without even decorating them? And I'll look at your guys. I'm gonna pipe these and then we can chat. Sorry. When the template gets farther away from me, I have a hard time seeing. I'm gonna have to move my tray, but I know that makes it harder for you guys to see, so I apologize. Ah! Ugh. Okay. Let's see if you guys can still see. So it's 5 across is the ideal with this size tip. It changes no matter with however big your tip size is. Again, unless you like them crunchier, make sure they're thick enough and you're all set. Of course, that one has less. Now I'm having only 4 across, but hey. I don't know if you guys can see. There's no consistency when I'm on live. I feel like I overthink everything. All right, let's do 2 more and then I'll put these in this mixer in the oven. All right, and 1 more. Okay, so there's that. You don't have to bang it out, but I'm gonna put these in my Oster toaster oven. We're gonna put the timer down. I do about 13 minutes and then I put it down to 275 when I'm baking in this. I also have these little wreaths I thought we could do. Hi from Virginia. I have a lot of extra batter, so I will do some wreaths and I'm gonna cut it the tip a tiny bit bigger. So this is kind of cool. This mat is from the Flower Girl and it has snowmen. If you can see, it also has candy canes on it. And then on the back it has wreaths. So it has a ton of options. Now it's not flattening out for me. There we go. So for this I do the same thing as the trees. All you have to do is dots. And then you get these little holiday wreaths, which is super cute too. Right? Isn't that cute? Just like a little wreath. Then you can do like a royal icing bow or sprinkles on it. Last year I did some white wreaths. I liked that. But green is definitely more classic. You could do, yesterday I did like a whole bunch of different colors of wreaths. I don't know if I like them yet. We'll see how they come together, but kind of like a donut macaron where you don't get as much filling, which kind of stinks, but they are such a cute added decoration. You can add it to like your big macaron houses if you're doing a gingerbread macaron house or a Christmas tree. You could use these for so many things. I don't know why I keep choosing the oddest placement for piping, but I just want to get to your comments. Again, make sure you're not piping too thin. And you don't want your batter to be so liquidy that it spreads off of the template, right? So just make sure, if you tend to have a little bit runnier of a batter, to undermix a little bit. Only if you typically tend to already have. See how like the tips are evening out, but they still have designated little bases. So it works out really nicely. If you wanted to be extra, you could do different colors and like wait for every other piping to dry and then do different colors and have like real designated sections. I'm not that patient. What else can we do with green? What other decoration? We've got 2, 4, 6, 8. We'll do 2. How many wreaths does one need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. I feel like having brown would be weird, right? In our wreath. A brown wreath. What can I'll just pipe circles. But again, someone was saying, isn't it easier to have a tip? And I would agree. It's easier to have an actual tip in there if you're doing larger designs. I should put those on my Christmas list. Yeah, aren't these cute? Put them on your Christmas list. Let me show you guys what's going on in the oven. So they're starting to get feet. Can you see? No. They are starting to get feet. They're just baking up. And then we'll add our decor on them after. I've got everything ready, so it shouldn't take too much longer because it's a quick little design. It's something easy that you could mass produce. Let me get you guys back down here. Okay, all right, I'm almost done. Let's see. Let me just do a couple more wreaths. It's hard for me to talk, so I feel badly. When I'm doing these. Dun, 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 dun. What else is green? Should we do some like, I feel like that would be a, okay, I'm gonna put these in. We could definitely do some sprinkles on them and stuff, but right now I'm just going for the easier route. Okay, so what are we on for the timer? 7 minutes on the timer. For our decor stuff, I have these sprinkles, which are very similar to look like garland, right? So they're just like the sanding sugar, which is so good to eat. That's why I love these, because not only are you going to get a nice bite, but they taste good. It's not like you're crunching and hurting your teeth through it. So they match my sweater. This, I'm just gonna dip them into this for that garland look. And then I have a few sprinkles I pulled out from a Melody, and they've got little snowflakes and then little nonpareils, right, like this. So we could potentially, if we wanted to, line them with little ornaments, right? Or we could just do like this one is and do it basic with no. I tried to do sprinkles like throughout, and I felt like it was looking really gaudy. So I felt like now that I have some little tweezers for placement purposes, maybe it would be easier and make it look nicer if it's more purposeful where I put them. But I kind of like the minimalist. And then of course there's like diamond dust on it, so it makes it nice and sparkly and fun. So that's what the silver diamond dust will do for us. And then this is my royal icing. It's pretty thin consistency that I've made, just because I didn't want to add a ton of confectioner sugar, because that's reserved for my macarons, right? So it's a little skimpy. So it's gonna be a little more spready, is what a thinner consistency of royal icing will do. A thicker consistency is gonna be able to withhold its shape nicer. So depending on what you want in your final product, this is gonna be fine for dipping in our sprinkles. But if you don't want sprinkles and you just wanna do a nice line, like a line of lights, and do it with this, like Christmas lights or holiday lights, then make it thicker consistency. Okay. That makes sense about royal icing and such. We'll cut that open in a second. But for now, I want to pipe out the rest of this. I hate having extra batter and not knowing what to do with it. I feel like it's a wasted opportunity. Let me do some. Let's do swirl macarons. So we'll do those 2 colors and we'll have it swirled. So I'm getting a tip. I'm getting one of these reusable bags that I like. I'm gonna cut this tip a little. I have scissors like right at my eye. I'm gonna cut the brown tip bigger so it comes out faster. And my green tip was already pretty big, but let's do another one. So these are 2 different colors. We're gonna have a green and brown swirl effect with this. So I put them both in, make sure they're both at the tip, and then we'll swirl them, okay? Ooh, a swirl wreath. I like that. Do you think brown would look good with it though? Like, these colors aren't my favorite, to be honest. Let's try it. We'll just use that another wreath. Ugh. So I do have another mat with the wreaths. So I like it. Macaron maker's thinking. Let's see. It sometimes takes a couple of times before it will show both colors. So be patient. Not with me, but be patient when you're piping. It will come as a swirl. There we go. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, oh, this is a pretty big tip for wreaths, but we'll try. We'll just have a bigger wreath. It's definitely harder with a big tip, but it's fun. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see. It's like, gotta make the batter do what you want it to do. There we go. Woo. I think this is too big of a tip. I like the first one. Let me try to get one that will be able to match it, and then we'll just do swirls. All right. I'm gonna just do swirl macarons. Isn't that pretty though? What flavor should these be? Brown, so like mint chocolate maybe? That could be a thing. Alright. Towards the end of your batter, it will get a little more runny because you're working it a lot as it's up there. So just be cognizant if you have like super runny batter at the end, you might get soft tops on those last couple of things that you've piped, and it's because it's overworked. All right. So there's our other one. I like it. Good suggestion, macaron maker. Oops, this went off. Okay, I think they're done. Here are our Christmas trees. Let me look at your questions if anyone had any. There's not too many people here today. So hopefully I didn't miss too much. Okay, I didn't hear where you got those neat mats. So Heidi, the mats are from the Flower Girl. Shop the Flower Girl. If you are shopping through them, their Black Friday deals just ended, but you can use Big Toujours 15 and get 15% off at Shop the Flower Girl. I also have, that's where I got, so I have some gold leaf, and I have this little cookie turntable too, which is really cute. If you do more intricate designs on a cookie sheet. If you're doing a ton of large production, I can't imagine doing a design that needs a cookie turntable in large mass production during the holidays. But if you are interested, that is on her site too. It's really cute. Okay, let's see. Ooh, you're making hot cocoa bombs. I love it. Yeah, when I cut the chocolate, it always is quite a mess. Okay, hi from Virginia. Hello. I'm going back in the comments just so you guys know. But I'm investing in a good stand mixer. If you guys want to restate, if you guys have questions, I feel like there are more than, what's your favorite holiday flavors? Oh yeah, someone asked what my favorite holiday macarons are. And that's really hard because I really like the little houses I made last year. I've never tried Santa's. That could be a disaster. I feel like trying to do like the beard, but you could do, if anyone wants to do Santa's, how fun would it be? Like, you know how with the clouds that I did, you macaronage less to make the clouds have texture. You could do with his beard, you could macaronage less the white batter and have his beard be all textured. Anyways, that's off topic. But holiday flavors, I love gingerbread. I don't like white chocolate that much, but yeah, I love white chocolate gingerbread ganache because all the spices take away from the sweetness of the white chocolate. Let's see here. My macarons are always hollow. I've played around with the temperature, but the oven and tried mixing the batter more and mixing less, but it doesn't change. So Letters by Emily, if you're still here, I'm finally reading, and something that could happen if your macarons are hollow, sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, it's our equipment. So no matter how much I tried at my other home, I'd always have a tiny gap, which didn't bother me, but I know it can really affect other people's mentality when they're making macarons. It's like not fun unless you see improvements, and people associate full shells with a perfect macaron. I would encourage you not to think that way, because a nice airy bite is really, and like delicate bite is really what macarons are all about. So if they're like a little hollow, a gap saying, then you're probably doing great. But if they're actually hollow where you don't get any meat and the tops are a little bit fragile and you feel like it's not a good bite, then it could definitely be the oven that you're working with. The first time I got super full macarons was when I got this little toaster oven, and it just changed the way it baked them up completely. And I obviously didn't change anything with my technique. It was just the oven and the equipment I was working with. But make sure that meringue is super strong. That would be the biggest thing is meringue. I feel like that is
where you need to put your focus if you are having issues with the sturdiness of your shell or the hollowness. You want to make sure that you're slowly getting up to the quicker speed, so make sure your sugar is completely dissolved before you put up your speed to really develop and put the air in it. Because if you have those sugar granules still in your meringue, as you put all that volume into it, they're never going to dissolve. And then your macarons will brown way easier as well, because the sugar crystals brown quicker in the oven if they're not dissolved. You're going to get clunky shells. It's not going to be like a nice texture inside. It's going to have like some bits that are just not as smooth. So you definitely want to make sure everything is dissolved before mixing at a higher speed when you're making your meringue. Yeah, hot pink, okay. Oh, I was trying to do candy cane swirls. Allison, I read, if you're still here, I read way up in the chat, and you were saying that you were doing candy cane swirls. Have you seen Pies and Tacos just put a video out, which is why I'm referencing it. But you just you keep your batter white and paint the inside of your bag red, and that you don't even have to separate your batter then, which is really nice. I did not put a timer for my... I'm gonna flip it and reverse it, and I'll get back to you guys. So these are developing little feet. You don't want to take those out for too long. I'm gonna put 7 more minutes. I have no idea what they were at. Okay, I'm gonna just go all the way to the bottom to answer more newer questions, since I did ask you guys to restate your questions, so because I feel like some people might be gone and I'm answering their questions now. Okay, Steffi, my question was, if you bake the shells and put them in the freezer, then decorate the shells with royal icing the next day, would that be okay? Or would the royal icing look off? You can definitely do that. I constantly bake shells, pop them in the freezer, and then I'll deal with them later at a different date, filling them, putting royal icing on, and then you can also freeze them once the royal icing is on as well. These were frozen. I froze them last night for some reason, and they defrost without having any issues whatsoever. The sprinkles aren't coming off. It's not like melting or anything, I don't know. But freezing is my favorite thing to do because we don't eat macarons quick enough. So, yeah. So that, okay. I've done that technique and loved how they came out. Yeah, so just painting the piping bag is really nice. Do you remember to take the tip out of the bag before you threw it away? Yes. The tip is still in this bag. Thank you for reminding me. It's definitely something I've done before. Okay. When I do raspberry cheesecake macarons, that's what I do. Yeah, macaron maker, you paint the bag, right? Yeah, okay. So I am going to wash my hands. Is there a deep freezer I recommend? Let me think. Sorry. I don't even remember the brand I got. I know I got it from like a Sears outlet shop, but I have a freezer, like a chest freezer. I think it's like this big, which probably doesn't say, you know, and it goes deep too. So I'll have to look at the brand, Heidi, and let you know after. I'm just like, it's like this. Am I fired? I'm sorry. Oh, I know. Penny does not stop barking. Okay. I use a toothpick. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. So, macaron maker, you put the toothpick in and kind of spread it around. That gives a nice swirl, too. Okay. Let's see how we did with the bake. So, here's the bottom. Right? The nice little... We've got our feet all the way around. They pair up nicely. So those are our little Christmas trees. I mean, they're already cute, right? And now we can decorate them. On these ones, I did both sides, but it's not really necessary. And it takes up more space in your box if you're selling. So it's really dependent on what you like, but they're kind of fun when they stand for decoration purposes, not for eating. And you can see both sides are decorated, but it's really up to your preference. It might be too much sprinkle. I haven't tasted them yet with both sides, so we just got our little trees. I just love, it's like, I don't know why trees are so fun, but they are. It's like nature, of course. You can write that quote down. It's like nature. All right. So let me put the camera down again and I will show you guys. They're pretty cooled. If I take them off the mat, they'll cool faster. And we can showcase decorating them. This one's a little fat. I gotta find a fat guy to pair with. There we go. Still a little fatter. They don't get their feelings hurt if you call them fat. It's a good thing. More to enjoy. All right. They're nice and paired up. Got one little guy who's so cute and small. When I did trees for gingerbread houses, I used giant ball. Oh yeah. Did you, wait. Do you mean decorating like with these balls? Like the balls sprinkles? Teresa, when I did trees for gingerbread houses, I used giant balls. Yeah, my kids love the crunch of sprinkles. As much as I'm like, this is too crunchy. Not so much icing sugar, the sanding sugar, but like these balls can be quite the bite. Also love fondant, which I find not good either. Okay, here we go. I'll show you guys a tree and we can be happy. Okay. So, sprinkles to dip in, giant ball. Yeah, some of the giant balls are chocolate. Yes, those are worth it, right? I love it. Okay, so we've got our tree. I'm only gonna do one side. Make sure it's a little warm still. I don't want the royal icing to get seepy because it's already not very stiff. Seepy a word. We can spray first though. You want to see what it looks like with the spray? Isn't that pretty? I wish you guys could see better. The lighting is just not good. But just adding spray, I mean, like, I love it. You could even just do that and have a simple snowflake on top, right? And it would be pretty. So it's not like you have to do much, and the piping on these is so easy. So it's very nice. Let me check this. So I have no idea how long these were baking for, but they're nice and sturdy. So I'm gonna say these are done. They got their little feetsies. We'll put these to the side. And then I'm going to bake our multicolored. They look so weird now, don't you think? Now that they've like evened out or like smoothed out. It's like tiger stripes. I don't know, it's fun.
quite fun. Okay. I won't forget to put a timer on this guy. And then I'll show you guys. So we've got our sparkle. We'll do a super easy, just a little like rope of royal icing down it. And then we'll give it a little twirl. I'm gonna leave room for the star up top. Okay, so it's just easy as that. I feel like it's nice to leave a little bit of room on the edges so you don't have too much piling up on the sides. And then we're gonna put that into here, just dip it. And then you've got your little garland decorated, just like that. And then you match your tree. And then a little dot for your snowflake or star at the top, whatever you want. And then we got these shaking. And then just let them dry. And they're so cute and so easy. Like, you guys know me in decorating. I'm not inclined to have the most intricate design. So this is nice and easy. And boom. Yeah, it's easy, you're done. So I like just leaving it like that. But you could also, if you don't want to do all the green garland, you could do a little white and then put the balls all the way down it, like was it Teresa was saying? She just did the balls like ornaments. We can try that, but my royal icing is a little thick. So let's try it. I'm gonna try to make it really thin. It's always good to like clean off the tip of your bag when you're dealing with royal icing. So I'm gonna try to have thin. Again, a stiffer consistency would be really nice. I'm gonna leave a little bit more room for the balls. This might take a lot of balls. A lot of sprinkle balls. Okay, so here's our royal icing starter. And then if you have these little tweezers, they really help. I'm shaky because I'm nervous on the live. So my apologies. But they are super easy to use. And then you just kind of line them up. Purple, blue. I only have like 2 different colors. See how much I'm shaking? Jingle, jingle, jingle. You guys, if this isn't if this isn't proof enough, it doesn't get easier doing lives when you're a nervous person. Okay, isn't that pretty so far? One ball is gone. If you have a whole bunch of different ball colors, it would be nice. Sorry, you can't even see, but I'll try to go faster. This is like the real versus like social media, how quickly everyone decorates. I love those where you can see exactly how long it takes people to do what they do with those sugar. That one's, I don't want another purple. I'm so shaky. I ate everything. So again, like I had to dig through a sprinkle box to get the ones I wanted. So this takes a long time, but it's fun for sure if that's your creative outlet. Down on the ground. Sprinkle on the ground. Let's do, oh, dang it. It's drying. That's good to know. You gotta move quicker than me. So once it's drying, you can start seeing indents in the royal icing more. So it won't look as pretty. So that's good to know. You have to move quick. It might not even stick on, but I don't want to do another layer. So we'll see. I'm trying to go. Go, go, go. Use bigger balls, like Teresa. Come on, baby. I don't want to add more. Okay, you know what we can do right here? Because I don't want it to completely look awful. Royal icing is super forgiving. You can take it off. Right? Work smart. Okay, so I took it off because it was dried. And we'll just put some more on. That's why I haven't shown my face. Steffi, yeah. Teresa's comment was flagged for maybe not appropriate because she said her balls were bigger. That made me laugh. Okay. Teresa, stop being inappropriate. All right. So now we have this. But yeah, Steffi, it's nerve-wracking putting your face out there, for sure. But I would love to see it. Show us how you do it over there. Everyone's so nice. It's nerve-wracking, but then the community that we have is just really gracious. So I would encourage you to definitely put yourself out there. But again, I'm just shaking so much. It's definitely easier when it is wet. Makes sense, right? When the royal icing is able to stick on. This is gonna look so good with some silver spray though. So like this is gonna just like, whew, that's a lot of time, right? Now when you look at all those sugar cookies that have those intricate designs like Megan Warner, Downtown Dough in Toronto, like she blows my mind. Borderlands Bakery, all of them. They blow my mind. I can't even do one cookie. We're almost there, guys. Let's do a purple. All right. And we have room for one more. Oh. Okay. So now we've got ornaments down it, and then we'll put the star up and lots of diamond dust. And then I'll flip that tray. And then if you have like some type of powdered colors, like sterling pearls from the Sugar Art or petal dust, you could paint like I painted these gold for my last batch. Like that, if you can see it with the lighting. But whatever you want, I mean, it's just so fun. All right, so that took forever, but did I turn these already? No, this is my first turn. Okay, you guys are being so patient. Okay, so that's that, and then we'll diamond dust these babies and we'll call it a day, because I know, oh, something fell. The last one fell. I don't want the dust all over me. Oh my goodness, how pretty is that? Now this, probably too much work for me to do again. But it looks pretty. And then you have the two different versions. Which one do you guys like better? Can almond extract be used to paint? Yeah, for sure. You could definitely use almond extract. Just know that I've used almond, lemon, just to pair it with whatever my filling is going to be. Just know it will taste a little bit like it. It doesn't completely get lost when it's sitting. If that makes sense. Let's see what, I don't remember what flavor these are. Marshmallow. S'mores. Too much sugar for me. One side will be better. That's good to know. Way too much sugar. I'm trying to show you guys the inside. I do not enjoy that bite. I'm just not like a huge, I love the sanding sugar, but that with the royal icing, which is really sweet on both sides, was too much for me, but you might love it. That's my opinion. And I am just sharing that with you guys. Okay. Dip it. Icing. Oh, Teresa, you don't have to apologize. I just thought it was funny. You like the dipped version? Was that what you meant, Teresa? The dipped version better? Or the little balls? I feel like it looks better up close. But, I don't know. Is it better to add Sugar Art Elite? Lorraine? Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Is it better to add sugar master elite colors to liquid egg whites, freeze dried raspberries, or Vanita, I love freeze dried raspberries. I like that a lot. The amaretti strawberry flavoring I hear is really good. The raspberry was a tiny bit artificial to me, but that's me personally. And then for the Sugar Art, I add it to my egg whites after the sugar is dissolved. But I know some people that add it to their egg whites right away. But the earlier the better with the Master Elites, because it allows it to get saturated in that liquid and activated, and it doesn't give you the streakiness that possibly if it's not mixed well, if you mix it in like when I did it, it could potentially get streaks of color because it's not fully incorporated. So you have to make sure you're able to fully incorporate it, and if you have trouble with streaking, then put the colorant in sooner into that liquid egg white. Yeah. All right. This is little wreaths. We could do something with that. I think these are cute. I'm having a hard time. There we go. It wasn't coming off the mat. Okay. See, those are cute, right? Let me put them together.
You could even put these in a straw and have them as a cute like wreath decoration in a straw for my straws are too big. Anywho, you could have like a little decor if you're having a dinner party with macaron wreaths in your with your coffee stirrers or something like that, for the dessert part or whatnot. I don't know. It'd be fun. Okay. Any questions? Lorraine, do you have any questions? I really appreciate that your generosity. I think we're done. If no one else has questions, we are good. I guess I could do one more dipping, but I feel like once you've seen it, you kind of get how to do it, right? You just put the royal icing in a nice thin line, and just know that if it is, once you dip, it's gonna spread a little bit. So don't make your line so close together, like with all the turns, because then it's all gonna meld into one, which could be really nice too, but it's gonna be a lot of royal icing flavor, right? Because it's gonna be like all over your whole tree, as well as a lot of sugar. There we go. I really want to try one with I'm just gonna like put a little sanding sugar on this one. It's not gonna be a good indication though. I'll update you guys and see if this is going to be too much sweetness too, okay? Because the double was too much for me. Again, like, I'm not usually a fan of super sweet, so to each their own, but I will let you guys know how the one-sided is in my mouth. But last year's design, when I made my macarons and I did the royal icing, just the line, and then had some different colors for like, it was all royal icing, it was no sprinkles. It did not taste overly sweet with just the royal icing. So something to think about, and I just want to make sure it's yummy before you guys try it. So you guys can try it too, and just make sure you try it and eat it before. Have you tried the amaretti lychee? Yes. When you dip that dip, we dip. Anyways, yes, I've tried the lychee or lychee. I know different pronunciations, and I like it. I am not used to super fresh lychee, so I think it tastes wonderful. But I've heard someone say that it doesn't taste as great as fresh for those who are used to eating it more often. But I'll show you my huge thing of it. I have a huge thing. Oh, it's in the back. Okay. I've got this huge guy of the lychee. Lychee. I love it. Okay. When sprinkles are royal icing, so you can make your own sprinkles with royal icing for sure. You let them dry and then cut them up. So they're not exactly the same, but yeah, for the most part, they're made with the same ingredients. Thank you guys. Thanks, Sophie, for being here. Thank you, Susan. Jeannie, thanks so much, guys. Teresa, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your week. Happy December. I forgot. Happy December 1st. These little guys are done too. Look at our wreaths closed up because they're just way too big. That's what's gonna happen if you pipe too big of circles. Like my piping tip was just humongous. So, unfortunately, but they have like a little cute indent in the middle. We could do something with them. That's my bad for choosing a big tip. But, perfect. Got all 3 trays out in the live. Happy holidays, everybody. Happy Hanukkah for those who celebrate. And I will see you guys soon. I'm like, I don't know when. But hopefully, I'm going to look at my calendar and see if the 2-week sections works well. Cute dimpled wreaths. Yes, dimpled is a great word, Ian. It's a little dimple in the middle. Perfect. Bye, Dawn. Bye, you guys. Have a good rest of your week. Happy holidays.